Did seeing that man lose his life disturb you? Did it hurt? Well, let's see how you handle this. Why did you make me do this?
Hi everyone, it's 2FAST2MOVIE. I'm your host, Alexandra. I have my co-host, Abraham, here with me today, and I'm going to speed through this. We're here for episode 8 of Amazon's original series, Invincible, where I really come from. Subscribe, do all that shit, and major spoilers ahead, because we really just got to get into this.
Yeah, dead ass. If you have not watched this episode, dear God.
Stop, go back.
Go watch it, because this is, without a doubt, the most brutal thing I have ever seen in any media. Like, what? I mean, of course it's written by the guy who made The Walking Dead, because this was unreal.
It's hard to watch. We were talking, this is like Red Wedding level horrible.
Yeah.
I would say the only thing Red Wedding had on this is that it really came out of nowhere, whereas this, you had kind of some inkling that there's going to be a confrontation, but not like this.
Yeah, I think what I didn't expect was the complete lack of regard for human life that Omni-Man had, because
God, yeah.
We've seen that, but we've only seen that in the context of fighting Cecil or fighting the Guardians of the Globe or fighting his soldiers. We have never seen what happens in this episode. I don't know how much I feel like we should just jump into it, because there's really no words before we just divulge.
Yeah, so our worst fears have been confirmed. Omni-Man is essentially a space Nazi from a race that gives other planets 2 reasonable choices: submit or die. He wrongly assumes that Mark would be easily persuaded into joining the family business, revealing that Mark will actually live for thousands of years. He tried to show Mark that humans are weak, meaningless, and inconsequential. But his son just doesn't agree. Moments from conquering Invincible, Omni-Man has a change of heart that seems to startle even him, leaving behind Earth and a trail of absolute destruction.
Yeah. Destruction is putting it lightly. It is...
Yeah.
It is...
devastation.
The loss of human life, they said, I think, is incalculable. Like, that's how much... Like, it was like a whole
and we
city
got a
block.
front row seat to it.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we should talk about the voice acting, because I remember we just needed to get that off our chest.
Yeah, I mean, I think something that has really elevated this show for me, as somebody who doesn't typically watch, like, I don't watch, like, a lot of anime, I don't watch too many animated shows, the voice acting is, like, regular acting quality, whereas you're getting these like voice breaks and these very like intimate seeming moments that kind of take it to the next level and really help you feel what the characters are feeling.
It also helps that the 3 leads, I think, are all Oscar nominated / Oscar winners.
At least like Golden Globe, like Emmy nominated. I mean, they're all phenomenal.
Sandra Oh, J.K. Simmons, Stephen Yen, they're like phenomenal.
Top notch. Yeah. And so I feel like there hasn't been an animated show that has this level or like this caliber of talent behind it, which, I mean, you read the writing and you're like, I'm fucking on board. Like, this sounds amazing and what an opportunity. And it's clearly not a big budget production or anything, which, so I feel like, and I feel like they don't even flash the names that much. Like, I feel like I haven't seen advertising that's like Oscar nominated Stephen Yen and It's not what that's about.
Whenever animated movies, like those like children's movies come out and they're like Sing or like Trolls. They're always like advertising like it's Justin Timberlake and Anna Taylor Johnson or whoever the big name celebrities are. And that's the forefront. Totally opposite. Like you could have put anybody in these roles and it would have been good, but they're just going that extra mile to really give these top-notch performances.
Yeah, and it's great to have actors who are really super committed to the acting and humanity of these animated characters. They've done a fucking amazing job.
Especially J.K. Simmons, because while he's giving his whole spiel, like, the fact that he, like, gets his whole backstory out in 3 minutes, like, it's casual, is like, yeah, I come from Viltrum. It's not like I told you. We basically killed everyone, half the population. And we also want to be the dominant race of the entire empire and the whole galaxy. Yeah, that's rough, buddy.
He really has such a commanding voice. Watch Whiplash if you haven't. Get a little more of that. Slightly less brutal than this show.
Slightly, yeah. I don't know. The chair throwing seems pretty rough.
It's pretty rough. So he talks about Viltrum, which I feel like I read something that Abe wrote, and I was like, this makes me think like space Nazi colonizers. I think in like the first episode. Yeah, and
we talked about that in the first.
Turns
podcast.
out that was spot fucking on. It was spot on.
Well, we were talking about it because it's more than just colonization. It's like, it really
full
is
domination.
Yeah, and like eugenics, weirdly enough, because they're like, we need to eliminate the weak, and solely because they want to make themselves stronger and to make their civilization better. And we were just talking, they like had a whole battle to the death and killed half of their population, which, I mean, that's one way to advance your society. That is an option.
So they were like, how can we do this but have fun at the same time?
Oh my God. It probably, they treated it like it was sport.
Yeah, they really do. I think this really brings up this kind of like philosophical idea that I feel like gets played around with in literature, like older literature about vampires and like your loss of humanity as your, like when you're faced with never aging, never dying, or living for almost ever, like losing that part of your humanity and what it does to you, like as you feel towards other people. So it's like really interesting that they're exploring that in here.
Yeah, the fact that they live for thousands of years.
One of the worst parts is when he's beating Mark up and he's like, what's another 17 years?
Yeah, because that's like a blip on his life. Because we get his whole backstory, and he was like a general. He's like basically like a high-ranking officer.
Yeah, and he got like chosen, like the special ones get chosen to go, fuck up the other planets.
Right.
And he was saying like it's an honor.
Yeah. Nolan is one of the most fascinating characters for sure. Not my favorite. Can't say that.
He's interesting.
He's definitely interesting because while he's talking and while he's saying all of these awful things, I can't help but think like and maybe this is like the Stockholm syndrome in me, but it's like how much of this is true? Like, how much of this is a front, do you think?
It's so like impossible to know because it's like, again, all of the information we have about Viltrum and other Viltrumites we have through his lens of experience. So is he like an extreme example? Is he like not an extreme example, like, was Alan the Alien right? Where he's like, oh, yeah, this is really weird. Like, other Viltrumites are gonna come and fuck up the planet. We don't know.
Well, Alan the Alien speech at the end kind of makes me believe then that some of this on some level was real.
Yeah.
Like maybe this was like a calm in the storm, and like maybe he actually did really like his time. And I don't know, like even that flashback scene where they're like doing the whole baseball thing, like you don't just put that in there for no reason. You're gonna Omni-Man's gonna come back eventually, right?
It's like he says some of this stuff because he knows deep down that if he's going to do this, he has to separate himself, and that like he's let himself go, and this was a mistake. So he needs, like, when he says Debbie is like closer to a pet, I straight up jaw on the floor, and it's so horrible, and it is kind of what sets Mark really off.
Yeah, it would set anybody off to say that your mother is like the woman you said you love is like a pet. That's sick. That's really sick.
He says so many times through the series how much he loves Debbie, so it's like I just want to believe that like he's saying that because that's like what he's been told, like, oh, these people are like our experiment, our pet. Don't get too close to them. And he has. So now he's like, this is how I'm supposed to be thinking about her.
And that would also kind of play into how he's trying to bring Mark over to his side and really trying to, I mean, it's a horrible strategy.
He's like gaslighting Mark because Mark's like,
oh, yeah.
Dude, no way that you think mom is just like your pet.
Yeah. Well, and then he's like, look at what you made me do, as he is like throwing him into like a whole city block of Chicago and killing hundreds, if not potentially thousands of people.
Oh my God.
Can we talk about?
We should talk about the set pieces.
Because, okay.
That train scene was one of the more, when people wrote on their MySpace page, like, welcome to my twisted mind. This is someone actually was like, welcome to my twisted mind. And I'm like, I would like to leave. I want to be here.
The worst part about that whole thing wasn't just like, oh, he's like destroying the train. It's the fact that like he made his son watch that. Yeah. And like used him to do like, at the end of this, Mark is like, it says to Cecil, like, I think I want to take a break. I get it. After this, this is a lot. I would never want to experience that again in my life.
Yeah. I think Debbie and Mark both need to go to therapy.
Yeah. They need to go see Doc Seismic and get some therapy.
His PhD in psychotherapy. That was horrible. Like the scene where the half of the building's falling off. So he's trying to save this woman and her daughter, and then they come up from the rubble, and her arm is not attached to her body, but he's still holding her hand.
And it's Mark has like struggled to save so many people this whole season. Like, how many people has he hasn't actually done that much in terms of saving people?
Yeah.
Like, the woman died in episode 2, the old woman. Titan, that whole plan backfired like crazy. The robot plan basically went through and couldn't be reversed. And now this. Yeah. And the fact that he saw them, like the mother and daughter in the room, and they were like like they were there. The
show really does not let the like magnitude of these people's strength get downplayed, because they even show like just him getting thrown through the street kills a bunch of people, and so he like gets up and he's like, oh my god, he can't even focus on like there's some woman who's like under a car. He can't even look at that before this building's about to fall over. He's trying to save them, and again, his voice where he's like, don't be afraid, but you can hear in his voice he's like, I don't think I can hold this building up, like it's gonna collapse.
Yeah. It's I hope that this is a place where we can come out of eventually. I hope that this is like it's brutal that this is the origin story, but I think it's going to be that much more satisfying when he becomes as powerful as Omni-Man is, and is able to do these like big acts of saving people essentially and doing what he couldn't do in the first season.
Yeah.
So,
and they have like a training sequence with the Guardians of the Globe. So I hope we get a little more of them working together. And please correct me if I'm wrong. Have we still not gotten Black Samson's powers? What can he do?
I think it is something to do with electricity. I don't know.
I thought we were going to see it. And I was like, oh, what is it? And I'm like, nope, he's just throwing a towel. I was like, got it. What does he do? It's never been explained.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm excited for more of the Guardians of the Globe. To see Rudy.
You were saying that you were kind of frustrated that there was no death, or at least that you thought it was a cop-out. Do you think that's true?
I just thought, I felt like there was an expectation, like going in, I thought Adam Eve or one of the Guardians of the Globe were gonna die, which I guess technically at the beginning of the episode that happens because we watch the Immortal just rain down onto a field.
Which is a great way to it's a great way to get back in.
I was like, oh, it's blood, obviously, because it's this show. And then I was like, oh, we're starting from like the second of last episode. Got it. Immortals, like entrails coming out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that would have made it better. It's not like we needed more death to get the point across that Nolan is not a good guy.
Yeah. And I think the Guardians are smart to know that, like, because they'd been watching the footage. What they like, Duplicate made a great point. Like, we can't even keep up with them. Like,
yeah,
they're flying so fast and they're so strong. What could we even do?
Yeah. So they're like just trying to go and minimize damage and save people where they can. So yeah, it gives them an extra push to be like, we're not even near the top of the food chain on our own planet. And there's things from other planets that are going to start coming too. Like, we need to be better. Yeah.
I also kind of wanted to talk about the Amber and Mark thing because, like, okay, Amber and Mark are back together. The world has effectively changed. It's a fresh start. Right? Yeah. I feel like that's all I can really ask for at this point. Because they we talked about this last week. They dropped the ball hardcore with Amber. Yeah, I don't know. I feel fine about it. I'm like, okay, I'll give you another chance.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. The scene in Burger Mart seemed like a little, I don't know, a little odd. And then like Adam Eve just throws in there like, oh, I guess you guys should know. Like, a superhero reveal without her like turning into the superhero, because she can't, because they're like in Burger Mart. I'm like,
I don't know. I thought it was funny that I don't know. There's two things. One, the fact that they didn't even know who Adam Eve, like they didn't recognize the name. They're like trying to pretend
she doesn't wear a mask too. Yeah, it's really funny.
They're like, oh yeah, right, Adam Eve. It's like, sure. Oh. That was great.
She's like, you can turn into a bunch of people, and she's like, that's Duplicate.
That is the
pink
most
one.
That also, I was thinking like, Duplicate is like clearly Asian, and I'm like, how would you? What? Like, how are you confusing the two? And they don't wear masks. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
that was really funny.
I kind of don't mind that it did happen in like this, oh my god, badass way.
Yeah,
Just because I think, especially after all of that stuff, we needed more of the irreverent and happy tone at the end. Otherwise, yeesh, that would have been...
yeah.
I would have been broken.
I'm glad Will was in the episode. I thought that was cute that he was like going to the house and like arranging their mail and like packages and
Will's
stuff.
a good friend. Oh, man.
Yeah, he is. All right. So there's really a kind of tiny second part to this episode, and that's that after your marathon of death and gore, you just get a little joke at the end, previewing what's to come in the next season, after high school's finished, of course.
Great joke to end on.
So I was like, you guys.
I was like, you got me. Yeah, they really hit it on the head with that one.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were able to stick the landing after everything that happened before, hats off to the writing. Because how do you go from POV, you're gonna murder a bunch of people with your own body, to, I gotta finish high school. Like, I don't know. The juxtaposition is pretty good.
It was really good. It's kind of setting up. We talked about this, but I feel like Nolan's not coming back next season.
I don't think so either.
Although I do wonder, do you think we'll get, like, from his perspective what he's doing, or do you think we're just gonna be like on Earth?
I don't know. If we get a Nolan POV episode, that would actually be kind of insane, and I would totally be here for it. But if we follow him, I don't know what would happen. Like, the only thing that I can think of is maybe he goes back to Viltrum and he's like, I can't do this. Someone else has got to go. And then
I feel like he can't, though.
Viltrumite.
Wouldn't he just be, like, immediately murdered?
That is also true. So maybe he doesn't even go to Viltrum. Maybe he's like, he just like goes off the grid and disappears for a few seasons and like thinks about like everything he's done.
Yeah, because Alan the Alien makes it pretty clear, like, your dad just like leaving is weird and not what Viltrumites do. So we're gonna have to re-examine our whole procedures and like infiltrating Viltrumites, because like it seems insane to him that would happen. So I mean, we probably will see another Viltrumite.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's plenty happening on Earth. Technically not on Earth, on Mars. I'm so glad we got a little more of the Sequids. Mr. Lou and Titan. I was like, this looks cool. Like,
Mr. Lou is the dragon from the scene where Omni-Man and Debbie were in Italy, I think, and like the dragon attacks. Apparently in the trivia they showed that, or they revealed that he's like a crime lord. So it's perfect that he's facing off against Titan. I just love that.
It just all sounds so cool. And then who else was in there? Oh,
the Mahler brothers are
the Mahler. Oh my god, the way the one guy is like in traction with his arm, and he's putting them back in jail, and they're just looking at him like.
They're like, yeah, you remember what happened last time?
Yeah,
they're gonna break out, and I'm totally here for the Mahler brothers being this like force that like inadvertently propels the story.
Yes.
Like, if they can continue to do that with them, that's going to be amazing. I would love to see that continue. That's a great role for them. And then,
of course, Doc Seismic with some, like, lava guys.
Yeah, magma monsters. I don't know.
I love them. I wonder how season 2 will work. Like, if it's going to be a little more of, like, one-off episodes, because we don't have that overarching Guardians of the Globe get murdered at the beginning. why. And, like, him keeping that secret from Mark until he's like, I'll just keep it from him. And then when I reveal it, it'll be fine. No.
Maybe...
I wonder if it's going to be like, yeah, I don't know why in my head I was like, it's going to be like Scooby-Doo now. Like, new people every episode.
Like a Freak of the Week. I think that will be the case, but I think there still has to be an underlying thing. The only thing that
it better not be like some Amber bullshit.
No, I don't think so. Because that can't be, because this season, I mean, it was, what is Omni-Man's like true plan? Who is he? It's like this question that's like happening. What if, I don't know, like another Viltrumite comes and then we don't even know, like they're in disguise, you know, like maybe they're like hidden among the world. And so like while all of this stuff is happening, maybe some of them die, some of the stuff gets resolved without people knowing who did it. I don't know. That's like,
I for one can't wait for the Immortal to come back only to be killed again.
Well, if third time's a charm, you know, you can, if he can die this many times, then he really does live up to his name.
It's like the Immortal with an asterisk, and it's like, with help from friends. Oh my god. This show has been a wild ride. Absolutely one of my top shows of like the past year, for sure.
If I'm being honest, this is definitely going in my top 5 shows of all time.
Yeah.
And definitely at number 1 or number 2 greatest animated shows of all time that I can think of.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah, I can't really think of the last time. The last time that I was this invested week to week to watch a show and to figure out what was going on was like Game of Thrones in its heyday.
Yes.
You know, so the fact that it was able to capture that, hats off. That was amazing, fantastic.
Their social media is also really hilarious. Somebody, they tweeted this morning like, oh man, I'm crying again. It's like, this is amazing. I just want more people to watch this show. Like, I want it to have the recognition it deserves.
I think it's going to. I think it's only been on, there's only 8 episodes. It's really hasn't received a lot of publicity before its release, at least to my knowledge. But it really picked up steam in this 8-week run. And I think it was
not even 8 week, 5 week, because they released the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, in a month. So the fact that it is in 1 month garnered so much attention and is now like number 1 trending on Twitter for like maybe like a full day is a really good news. And it was renewed for seasons 2 and 3. They did the renewal back to back, which means they are committed to making this thing work, and I'm here for it.
The timing of it makes me feel like a day before this episode came out, they had some executive in a room. I'm imagining he's in like a tie and a suit, and they showed him this episode, and he like lifted up the little clear like glass encasing and just like hit the renew season button.
Yeah.
It was like immediately.
Of course.
I want more.
Because you don't just make something this bananas and just go, I think we'll make more of that show them or whatever, like another Amazon original.
Yeah, especially with the star power behind it, where, I mean, all of them, I'm sure, have produced things at some point where they're like, no, this is going to keep going. Yeah. We're going to make sure this keeps happening. Oh, boy.
Robert Kirkman,
guys,
you beautiful bastard.
What should we review next, guys? Tell us down below. Is there another show that you're, like, stoked is going to be coming out? Is there a show that you thought was going to be out and now it's not coming out until October?
What show is that? What show is
I don't know. I just feel like I was looking at a list of shows and it's like they're like listed through July and then everything else is TBA.
I don't know, for some reason it sounded a little bit personal when you said that. So I was like, oh, there must be a clear example that you're coming from.
No, I should come. High School Musical, the musical series. No, but I think that's coming out next month. If you want to watch me and A-B musical theater freaks.
Yeah.
It's well within us.
If you
it's more within us than this show, if we're being honest.
If you want to recommend a show that can fill the void in our hearts left by Invincible, let us know down in the comment section down below.
That's impossible. All right. I think we're going to wrap this episode and this whole first season of Invincible. It's been 2FAST2MOVIE. Let us know your thoughts about the overall season. If you have any like cool predictions for the next season, don't give us comic book spoilers. We haven't watched the comics, although I honestly might go.
I
really might go pick some up.
Yeah, it's that good.
I was reading on Reddit and somebody was like, I just want to know if I commit to these comics, does it have a satisfying ending? And someone was like, it does. And I'm like, scroll. And I was like, that's good to know, but I don't want to know anymore.
To the comic
check
book
out
store.
Our other, check out our other coverage. We're talking about My Hero Academia, and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I think just wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new series called Full Stop Reviews, kind of like a shorter movie review. We have our longer movie reviews, The Return of the Movie. We're going to be talking about Saw and Spiral, which I'm like really stoked for. And our web series is being accepted to film festivals left and right. So check out Interview Philly. But I think that's it. That's all for today. Goodbye, Invincible viewers. We'll see you in can they make the next season come out in a month?
Yeah, it's actually dropping next week.
Perfect. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.